Glorious! No, I won't give in till I'm victorious. And I will defend,
Hello, compadres, is your WW3 YouTube champion! Here for another edition of my world famous wrestling show, WW3. Let's talk wrestling. First up, let's go ahead and get out of the way. Raw 25 is next week. Lots of names have been dropped so far, but here are some of the more important ones. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We got MVP potentially saying that he will join the Royal Rumble and maybe WWE entirely, as well as The Undertaker and John Cena. Of course, this does mean that there are going to be rumors and speculation that this will be the time when they trigger the John Cena versus Undertaker feud for WrestleMania 34. Now, I still feel as though everyone's just looking too deep into it. I feel like The Undertaker is well done with it, and I think it's time for him to retire for good. There is no better send-off than what he had at WrestleMania 33. Anything more would just be kind of fluff and filler. But this show definitely does raise some questions as to what's going on. Apparently it's taking place at two different places, and it is a 5-hour show. I think only 3 of the hours are going to be on television, and an extra couple hours, I think, on the WWE Network, where this means what the legends will be doing, whether it is some in-ring competition, maybe it's just some cool promos and things like that. We have yet to see. What we do know is that we will get an Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz and Roman Reigns. I personally think that Roman Reigns will win it, hopefully to keep him out of the Rumble. I'm being serious. I don't want him in the Rumble. It's not good. The experiment has definitely reached its boiling point. I think it needs to simmer down for a while. Now, I am very excited for WWE Raw 25. I'm going to be watching it potentially live, and this does raise up a good question. Would you guys ever like to see me live stream react to one of these events? Most likely it'll be for the Royal Rumble, but tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Now, this week definitely had a lot of very little moments backstage and on screen in WWE, and I couldn't really pick out which one is the best. So, for this next segment, I would like to introduce you to mini stories in song. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Goldberg in the Hall of Fame, but is not the headliner. Paige actually injured, not the Rumble victor, and is not forced to retire. Finn and Sasha won their match in the MMC. Braun Strowman, Ricochet in WWE, and that's the end of mini stories. Yeah! Let's never do that again. That was god awful.
Ooh, you suck.
And of course, the final story. And to wrap up the week, SmackDown did have one noticeable thing. We finally have a United States champion that is truly, stay with me now, glorious! For whatever reason, WWE decided that the United States Championship Tournament was not going to end at the Royal Rumble. I personally have no idea why. This may make room for, say, some more spots in the Royal Rumble match, and for the Women's Royal Rumble, maybe Roode's going to make an appearance, same with Jinder Mahal, it is unclear. But what's strange is this. What was supposed to happen is that the next week they were going to have the final match between, of course, Bobby Roode and Jinder Mahal. But Bobby Roode got attacked and instantly said, "No, I want that match now, son. Let's do it now." Of course, crazy Daniel Bryan came out and just said, "Yes, that's it! Let's fight!" I'm sorry, Daniel. Now, this decision definitely made everything slow down a bit, since everything was based on the United States tournament and a strange match for the women. But I still believe this had some, let's say, purpose. Like I mentioned first in the video, Raw 25 is next week, meaning that we should build to that. And I feel as though they purposefully made this SmackDown seem a bit less, I guess, as exhilarating as it normally is in past weeks. This is all to garner up more views for Raw 25, since SmackDown is clearly overtaking Raw in ratings war. Now, if that was the case, it worked. If it was WWE sincerely trying to make something good, I feel bad. But it's definitely still had some good spots. It made every single competitor look strong, made Roode seem like a good heel, made Xavier Woods seem like he could stand out on his own, and it made Jinder Mahal actually put on a decent match. I think he's finally found his place in the mid-card, and he should kind of just stay there. I'm really glad that Bobby Roode won. Now that's the story. Let's focus on that. Bobby Roode defeated Jinder Mahal for the United States Champion. And this definitely makes sense. Bobby Roode came from NXT during a call-up. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was after SummerSlam? Yeah, let's go with SummerSlam. He came back after SummerSlam, and he had some screen time. That's what he had. He just had some screen time. He was just there to make people say, oh, cool, I should turn into SmackDown Live. But of course, his momentum started to dwindle down when he didn't really do much. He eventually got his United States Championship match against Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. How that turned out. We also had Bobby Roode in the six-man tag elimination match at the Survivor Series, which again, did not end well for Roode. I don't want to be so rude. I know he's a wrestler too. Okay, now I'll stop singing. I'll make him champ anyway.
Boo! You suck!
But giving him the US title definitely gives him a bit more momentum, makes people really see Bobby Roode as something to really pay attention to. Something not a lot of NXT call-ups have been getting very lately. Shinsuke Nakamura didn't really get as big of a push as he deserved. Finn Balor has been struggling, but has been finding his stepping back. And I feel as though it definitely proves that the NXT system is quite flawed, but it also shows that there is some silver lining with Bobby Roode as champion. Now, hopefully he has a meaningful run against some good opponents, not just Jinder Mahal and Baron Corbin, for the love of God, no. And I feel like this will really make Bobby Roode a star, and any opponent he faces a star. It'll give prestige back to the title. Though I don't really need help with that. I'm already a prestigious champion. And I've been doing this for 5 weeks? I've already lost count because I'm that good. Come at me if you think you're gonna take away my championship. Air guitar! Anyway, that wraps up this week in WWE. I know this was a relatively shorter episode than stuff in the past, but we're gearing towards Raw 25, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff to be talking about after that, to where I may even just give its own video just to recap Raw 25. But for now, I've been Christian Michael Pierce, your YouTube champion! And this champ is going offline.